This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that gets in the mix.
So, April.
Yes.
I have jury duty.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. This is like the 5th or 6th time since I moved to Texas that I have been summoned. And so, I mean, what better movie to do than jury duty?
Exactly.
Do I hope mine will be as entertaining? Yes.
Will it? No.
Probably not. I mean, you know, you hope that if you're going to have to be picked, that you get like a really exciting case.
Yeah.
But the last time I was picked, it was a stupid he said, she said car accident. And we found the person not guilty. And that was it.
The end.
And I don't even think we made enough, like we didn't make any money. I think I donated it. So it was like,
No, I want my $5.
right? Actually, I think it's like 7 something.
Ooh.
But they take taxes out. And it's
Really?
Like, why even bother?
So they give you a check? They don't even give you cash?
Yeah, I don't think they give you cash.
I figured you could just like go down the cafeteria, have lunch or something.
No, I think most people just donate the money back. So it's not even worth it. Well, because you get paid at work. So, you know, I think that's probably why most people just give it back.
Okay.
But I already have a room selected, a judge selected, and it's at the big courthouse. It's not at the Tarrant County. So,
You mean in Fort Worth?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a criminal case.
Okay.
So I was like, well, who knows what it's going to be? It could be theft, larcen,
Who knows?
murder. I don't know. It'd be really fun if it was like a cool murder case, but I'm sure that's probably not going to be the case. Who knows? I don't know. So we were talking about all the different kind of jury movies that we could pick, and we almost went with My Cousin Vinny.
Yes. That was my choice, but it's more of court.
Yeah.
And not like the juror's experience. So,
I will say the best part of that whole entire movie is when he's talking to his girlfriend and she's like, no, that's not that kind of car. And she's a car expert. And that's probably the best part of the whole movie. Probably the most famous part too.
I think my biological clock is ticking is the line that
Oh, I was like, what?
that they're not going to get married until he wins his first case.
I don't know why I was moving that away. It felt like I needed to. Sorry, guys. So I wanted to bring up something before we talk about the movie.
Okay.
Last week, we did an abundance of letting you know that we do have an email.
Did we get any emails?
Not a single one. And I was like, really? Because 100% I thought we'd at least get one email. I mean, we gave them our email address because we do have one, twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. But we got not a single email.
That's okay.
I know. I'm a little sad about that. So I've been watching Degrassi after we talked about it the other day. I was like, I gotta watch that. And I found a podcast and it has people that are my age. And I was like, okay, I'll listen to it. And then they in their episodes, they were like, send us some emails. We haven't gotten any emails. And then I swear to God, like a week or two later, they had all these emails. And I was like, son of a bitch. Now they could be lying. I don't really know. They started in 2018, so it's been a bit.
But they have a following, we don't. But that's okay.
Well, they didn't even have a following at the time. They were like our 2 listeners. I mean, again, they could have been lying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I was like, I just want an email. Just one. Because we do have an email address.
We do.
What is it?
Two Chicks Talkin Flicks at gmail.com.
Yes. And it's in our, talkin,
no G.
Not G. And it's in our notes. It's on all of our socials. We do have a Facebook. We have a TikTok. We have an Instagram. We have a Twitter. That one's not the same. So don't go to Twitter. We don't tweet. But all the rest, you can find it. Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
Yes.
Though we did get a new listener.
Ooh.
Yes. Very exciting stuff. Let me, if I can find it. Super quick here. Groups. Two Chicks. It is. We have a comment. Oh, JJ likes movies. I think that's also her Instagram handle.
Oh, okay.
And she responded to our controversy, our Mandela effect.
Ooh.
Yes. And she said that the version that we watched is rated R, and that she remembers seeing all those scenes, and that maybe we'd just seen the one off of TV, and so a lot of that stuff was cut out, and we just didn't remember. And I did tell her, I was like, sometimes you can watch a movie over and over and over again, but when we watch it for this, it's like we watch it with fresh eyes, and we see things that maybe we noticed, but we didn't like.
Because honestly, my focus when I would see this movie before this was just the dance, just the dancing. That was my focus.
Exactly. That's how I am with Dirty Dancing. I mean, as a kid, I literally watched it for the dancing over and over and over. Obviously I watched the other parts. I didn't care about it as much as the dancing. It was all about the dancing. This movie has some dancing.
Yeah, it does.
So if you are unaware, this movie stars the great, the wonderful, the talented Pauly Shore.
Yes.
He was like a 90s icon. Staple.
He was well known in the 90s.
Yes. He was in like everything, I felt, in the 90s.
Quite a bit of things.
So much stuff. And in this movie, he plays downtrodden Tommy, who is trying to get a job as a stripper.
Yeah.
And, for like just a second, he had those ladies. And then he went and did some weird stuff. He
ruined it.
And so he didn't get that job. And then he gets a summons to go to jury duty. He throws it out. His parents leave, take their mobile home with them, and he has nowhere to go. So he grabs the jury summons, and he's bound and determined to get on a jury that's going to take a long time, so we'll have a place to stay. And, he finds different ways to prolong the jury. And then he catches the killer.
Yeah.
And the movie's over.
Let's just start from the very beginning. This movie is a piece of fiction.
Yeah.
It's the highest caliber.
Yes. I mean, okay, is anybody thinking, oh, Pauly Shore, that's how things should go? He's going to win an Oscar for this movie.
Well, no, but like, let's say someone who's never been on, like, for example, I've never been on a jury before. Obviously, I don't know how the system works, but I think what was the biggest eye opener for me learning how actual jurors are like sequestered and stuff came from watching that, the state of California versus O.J. Simpson.
Yes.
And they had one episode that was, dedicated to the jurors and their experience. That was like, wow, I did not know all of that, because I really thought it would be kind of like a little mini vacation. But in that show, each juror had their own room. They weren't allowed to talk to each other about the trial.
Yeah.
I remember one of the beginning scenes, one of the guys, he's like, okay, cool. He's trying to go down to the pool to hang out. And they're like, no, you can't. because you can't accidentally mingle with other guests. The TV, you can't watch live TV. We can watch video recordings to make sure that there's nothing said, so that was really like, wow. Although for me, I think I'd be okay. Like, again, like I would just look at it as like a vacation to detox.
Yeah.
I have such a vivid imagination that I would be fine. I would not go crazy.
Yeah, I think if as long as we had like some kind of entertainment, like movies, or we could watch like Netflix, I think I would be fine. And they were like, you can't do anything. You can only like read.
Like, I think now, I think what would probably happen is they would probably give you like a tablet and put it like on kids mode, just so that you wouldn't accidentally see anything like trial-y, which again, there's so much kid content that I think you'll be fine. You'll be entertained, like all these Disney movies and stuff, but it was different back then. I think in that TV show, what they did is they actually gathered them all into a room and they all had to watch the same show, like in a classroom type setting. Yeah. And there was a fight over watching, I think, Martin and something else, and I can't remember what the other show was, but I was like, oh, I want to watch Martin,
Yeah. So this movie came out in 1995, which is right around the whole OJ Simpson trial business. And I kind of felt like the female lawyer was supposed to be kind of
Marcia Clark.
Yeah, Marcia Clark esque. And I thought that was kind of funny. I did just look up IMDb just to look at the trivia, and it said that this movie. It says the film has a rare 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and that
it's not even worth rating.
Yeah, I mean, it's that bad. And it says that Pauly Shore's worst reviewed movie. Critics lambasted the film mercilessly, and unfortunately for the studio audience, didn't enjoy it either. I remember seeing it, though. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the movie theater. If not, I saw it on VHS when it came out, but pretty sure I saw it.
I'm always critical about critics.
Yeah.
I already knew Pauly Shore and a comedy movie. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of like film, Yeah. So I didn't it's so hard to describe. Like the jokes aren't going to be like stellar.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, they're not going to be sophisticated or like witty.
Yeah.
They're going to be like,
Stupid.
fall on your butt type jokes. The story's going to be completely unrealistic and out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you're going into. Like, do the critics not see the movie trailers and be like, okay, this is what this film is supposed to be? Like, that's the thing. This is what the film is promising you, you know? So this is where your expectations should be. You shouldn't be comparing it to like something else.
It definitely was made for high school kids and college kids. Like it wasn't made for sophisticated types.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem. Like you and I, we're not that age group anymore.
No.
But we can appreciate this film for what it's supposed to be.
Like you're supposed to turn your brain off and it's just supposed to be like
entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment.
I
wasn't going in thinking it was going to be Shakespeare.
Exactly.
It said Stanley Tucci hated this movie and was so frustrated during the filming that he was writing his own screenplay just to give himself a good part.
Was he rewriting this screenplay or just his own thing? Okay.
It was a acclaimed doctoral debut, Big Night in 1986. I've never heard of it.
I will say though, there was a lot of famous people in this.
Yes. I was surprised.
Not like A-listers, but definitely a lot of people.
Yeah. Shelley Winters, Tia Carrere. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Stanley Tucci, Brian Doyle Murray. Let's see here. Like, I recognize a lot of them.
Yeah.
Richard T. Jones, he's on The Rookie. He's like the head cop guy. Every time I see him and stuff, I'm like, Susan, look, it's the guy from The Rookie. I don't know his name. Well, I do now, but one important person. I knew the voice as I heard it, and I was like, I know that voice. I've heard it a lot lately. Who the hell is that? And then when we saw him again and I heard his voice, I go, oh, that is the voice of Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I looked it up, and 100% that is him. And I was like, I knew it. He's a reporter. And I was like, I know that voice. And I've been watching Sabrina, so I've been hearing it a lot lately. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, I know it.
I just don't watch anything.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube. I don't watch scripted shows.
Well, I mean, it was the old teenage Sabrina,
but
the Teenage Witch.
I saw it in its original run, and I saw maybe like the first and second season.
Yeah.
And then after that, just sprinkles here and there. So, yeah.
Well, you're missing out. I'm enjoying it.
I always put these movies and TV shows on my list. Like, I'm going to watch it one day. And like, it's not going to happen.
So this movie has some odd transitions.
Yeah.
So the very beginning is a bunch of ninjas, and I titled it Age of Ninjas. I feel like the 90s was like prime ninja time.
Ninja Turtles. Power Rangers. Mortal Kombat. Double Dragon.
Wasn't there
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Was there a Black Ninja? Was that with Tommy? Not Tommy.
Blade.
No. Chris Farley. Wasn't he like some kind of ninja?
I don't know.
I feel like I remember that.
Like, I can see him in that, but I don't know if it's a film or like an SNL skit.
Yeah. But ninjas were hot in the 90s. I feel like every boy wanted to be a ninja. All the movies had ninjas in it.
Even Buffy fought.
Yeah. And then it goes from that to a strip club. And I did not remember this whole strip club scene in this movie. So we have beefcakes and all these people, this guy is dancing. And then next on stage is Pauly Shore.
The milkman.
He's the milkman. And he's like skipping around the stage, delivering his
and everybody's watching like, okay, where is this going?
But then he started to dance and the ladies were like screaming. But then he took it one step
too far.
And drank the milk. And
poured it all over himself. Spit it out.
on there. Yeah. That's when he lost the crowd. I feel like if it was water and not milk, he would have had a better shot. Because people don't want to sit and smell dried milk on themselves. It's not a fun, pleasant smell.
It was a pretty bad show.
Yeah. As a former person who had to
I thought you were going to say as a former person stripper.
Yes, as a former stripper, having to sling that milk, it's gross. It smells disgusting. Don't do it. But yeah, he was the milkman. And I was like, oh, they're into it. And then they were not.
I guess it was an audition too, and he didn't make the cut.
No.
And it turns out it was his uncle.
Yeah.
And the uncle was just like, you were too good.
Too good.
Too charismatic.
He has too much. And then he went and he was looking in the want ads in the newspaper. When's the last time you looked at the want ads in the paper?
Probably like 2 years ago when I worked for the paper.
I forgot we did do that.
Yeah, when I used to place the ads.
Yeah, but like for yourself.
Oh. Early 2000s, maybe?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I remembered this. The other day I heard someone's bringing back payphones.
Why?
They're trying to bring it back. I don't know.
Like, here's the thing. It's one of those nostalgic things that serves no purpose today. Like, are they going to have them be like a recharge bank where you like at the airport where you recharge your phone?
I don't know. I heard that they're trying to bring them back.
Because that's the only way I can see that working out. Yeah. You know?
I don't know. I was just like, oh, I must tell April. We on our quest. Oh, and there was a payphone sighting in this movie.
There was.
You know, the 90s were full of payphones. Mm-hmm. Payphones and ninjas. Payphones, ninjas, and strippers.
I have some good memories of using the payphones.
Yeah. So it's so weird to me how many people try to get out of jury duty. So as he's walking up the courthouse steps and he's like bound and determined to get on a jury, we have a man who's trying to get out of it and he's trying to wrap a bandage around himself. And it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. You already have to come down here anyways. So is it that much bigger of a deal to just serve it and then you don't have to for a while? So what's the point? Why do people try to get out of it? I was more just annoyed because I got it the day before my birthday.
Personally, I would love to be on a jury.
Yeah.
It would be an awesome experience.
Right? But you and I are very weird people. Not very weird. Like you help with voting.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to be a lawyer. So for both of us, and you worked in a law firm, like it's exciting.
Yeah. Like if I were to become a lawyer, I would want to be one of those boring lawyers that just does like either taxes or corporate law. Like I don't want to go into a court.
Did you ever see the show where they did patent law? Mm-mm. Yeah, she was a patent lawyer and
that's too much research.
Well, she made a ton of money and then I guess she just wasn't happy. And so she moved to this other town, became a lawyer, but worked out of a shoe shop. And so they had all these shoes and they were just like selling the shoes to make extra money for the shoe shop. I
would just want to be a tax attorney.
It's with Kathy Bates.
Like I think tax attorneys would be hella simple.
Yeah.
You know, like every year you get updated taxes. Bam. You know?
Yeah, but that's a lot of math.
I mean, here's the thing about math. It always has an answer, you know? Like no matter what it is, it will always have an answer.
Sometimes it's letters, sometimes it's degrees.
Sometimes it's a negative, sometimes it's an invisible imaginary number, but there's always an answer.
I don't like it.
It's logical. It makes sense.
Does it? I feel like it doesn't
like
make
the
sense.
Math works. Okay.
I mean, you can make almost any math problem work.
Exactly.
But it may not be the right answer.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Be like, well, it worked when I did it. They're like, yes, but that's not the right answer. You're like, well, God damn it. I didn't put it down to the lowest denominator. I'm sorry. Okay. Anywho. So as the guy, he puts the bandage on his head and Stanley Tucci comes up to him and he's like, hey, I have an idea. And you don't know what it is. You just think, oh, okay. They're both trying to get out of it. They're going to work together. That's not what happened.
No. And I kind of forgot all about that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I thought maybe he was the lawyer and he was just like scoping out who was trying to get out of it.
I mean, I just figured there were so many different like trials that, other dude ended up in some other trial or he got off, so.
So I put that Tommy, aka Pauly Shore, seemed a lot smarter than he lets on.
Yeah.
When he's trying to get onto a jury, there's a montage of him going to different courtrooms, which that's not how jury duty works.
No, it does not.
But he goes to different courtrooms and after he would hear, oh, it's going to be a very quick trial. He's like, I know that person. Blah, 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 blah. And like tries all these different ways to get out of it.
Yep.
And one of them was like,
especially like the one where he's like, I know him. We used to cheat in math class together. And I'm like, dude, not only did you get yourself dismissed, you got dismissed everybody in that courtroom. Because usually with jurors, like they'll bring up 12, they'll interview you, but then the other sets of like alternates are already sitting in that same courtroom. Yeah. So basically the whole room got dismissed because of him.
Yep.
And at that point, you would have just gone home.
Right.
They wouldn't have sent you to the next one.
Yeah. I was like, that's not how that works.
No.
But then he finally gets on to a jury that's going to take a long time.
Yep.
And they're like, the jury has been selected and these people are running everywhere. And then someone goes, there's tuna salad in this room. And it was like a whole running bit for like a minute about tuna salad.
Yep.
And you hear all these different reporters. They're like, what does the tuna salad taste like? Have you tried the tuna salad? Mm-hmm. Something in Korean, tuna salad. And you're just like, what is with this tuna salad?
Yep.
I must know, is that like a big deal in the judicial system?
I don't know. Salad? Do they feed you? I don't know.
I don't know either. But they were very excited about this tuna salad.
I would think with smaller, like regular jury stuff, if it's going to take longer, they'd probably cut for lunch. And then you would just go and have lunch, right?
True. Have you had tuna salad?
Yes. I've never had to comment about it before, though.
Well, this is your time to shine, April.
I love tuna salad. It's delicious.
I'm more of an egg salad person than a tuna salad. Mm-hmm. Normally, I would say I don't even know the last time I had tuna. I cannot say that because this afternoon was the last time I had tuna.
I eat it fairly regularly, but I haven't had it in at least a month or two.
But before yesterday, I hadn't had it probably in like a year.
Oh no. I go through kicks.
Yeah.
So once I start eating, because, you can't just buy one lemon,
Yeah.
And then I usually buy like the little 4-pack of tuna. So like, I'm going to have it however many days. Because once I because I buy the big lemons. And so then once you cut it, you have to usually it only takes one lemon, but then I already have a lemon cut. So then like the next day, if I'm still eating it, then I have to use the second lemon. So yeah, I'll eat it for a few days.
I was just trying to think. I think those little tuna kits.
I don't like them.
I buy them, but I can't remember if it's the tuna or the chicken. I think it's the tuna. So I might have tuna way more than I think.
I mean, I've had them, but they're, just like fast food. They're not going to compare to like homemade.
Right.
So I rather not. I don't actually buy those because it just makes me want the real thing so much more.
Yeah, I get them just
enough.
just so it's an easy lunch. I just pack it away. Let's see here. I'm actually going to start meal prepping. I don't think it's going to last very long, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I just wanted everybody to know, hey, send me your recipes in an email. We have a email. It's Two Chicks Talkin Flicks at gmail.com. If you want to send us an email about your favorite recipes to meal prep.
For Sarah, just to clarify.
April doesn't cook.
No.
Let's see here. Why did I put that? The speed. Your A speed refrains. Oh, a speed reference. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, a speed refrains. Yeah. So they get sequestered and on their way, they're on the bus and he's interviewing people, pissing off the bus driver. And then he's like, this bus can't go over 10 miles per hour or we're all going to die. And I was like, oh, they're just pulling from every movie. And a hot button issue.
Yep.
How clever. So his hotel room is swanky compared to his parents' motorhome.
Oh, yeah. I have to admit, it was a nice hotel. Like, it was a suite.
Yes.
It had a living room and it had 2 bedrooms. Sure, it was in the remodel section, but like, beggars can't be choosers.
Right? It looked nicer than a lot of hotel rooms. It was huge. And he found the little bottles of shampoo and he's like, oh, these are for my dog.
Yeah, he has the cutest little puppy dog. His name is Peanut.
Is the dog the cutest?
Yes.
Like, it's cute and like that dog's ugly cute.
It's cute. It's so cute. I want it.
I mean, everybody kept saying, what's wrong with that dog?
Well, I mean,
helps.
he did volunteer his dog for that science
That is true.
experiment.
Poor
but he
dog.
wouldn't do it again, okay? Maybe that's how the dog got smart.
Maybe. The dog loves Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And nothing can stand in the way of him and his Jeopardy.
I love Jeopardy too. Haven't seen it in ages.
I haven't seen it since last week.
Really? You guys watch it?
My mom does. And when we go over there, we watch it. And I got to tell you, the last episode we watched,
You did good?
I knew quite a few answers. I'd say like 7 or 8.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's pretty good. Because there are times where I'm watching, I'm like, I've never even heard what this is.
No, I remember me and Rhonda, we used to play. We would watch, like, we would be on the phone watching it on TV. And I would have like a pen and a piece of paper and I would write down whenever we got it right. So I could see the tally at the end to see who had the most money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good idea. Did you always win?
Quite often, yes.
Doesn't surprise me. So he fell asleep
Oh my God.
as a juror. That would have gotten him kicked out right there.
Yeah, like
Automatically.
my whole thing is like he couldn't sleep because his roommate was his old principal, which I don't think you could even know another juror, right?
I don't know if they're that particular about the jurors.
Anyways. And like I guess they would fall asleep and then his tape player would kick in like around midnight or something to like it was sayings of like affirmations and stuff.
Yeah.
But it'd be super loud.
The 90s were really into those motivational tapes. I don't know why. But they were really big into it.
But like he should have started it earlier
Yeah.
so that by the time the tape ran out, the other dude would be barely going to bed or something.
And also make it quieter.
Yeah. Like on top of that, from the appearance, right? It looked like the tape player was next to the door instead of being next to his bed.
Well, the weirdest part is that he can hear it very clearly in his room, right? Across, like through a door, through a living room, through another door into his room.
I'm surprised the person on the other wall isn't complaining.
Well, there's that. And also when he looked out into the hallway, the guy was right there. He couldn't hear it. It was silent. And I'm like, you should be able to hear this because if he can hear it that far, it had to be pretty damn loud. I mean, come on, Pauly Shore, like make a movie that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay? Jeez. Lame. I put both lawyers are terrible.
Yeah. One of them was completely not prepared.
No.
And like, here's the thing. they were talking about him. Like, he's fresh out of law school. He's already lost 5 cases.
Yeah.
Dude, I would be eating it up. I have the trial of the century,
Right.
at least for our little town, you know?
Yeah.
I would be like, wow. Like, sure, I would be up to my neck and like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But you know what? I'm going to bluff my way through this.
Right?
Like, here's the thing. For him to have graduated and gotten to the point where he's at, and he's already lost 5 cases, that means you've been in a courtroom setting live before.
Yeah.
I think you should have had more composure.
Yeah, it was weird. And he was walking weird and she was walking weird. And I was like, what is this energy?
Yeah.
It's very strange. Not a fan. And then they had this guy that came in and he was an expert, talked about penis envy.
Which made
reason.
no sense.
Yeah.
It made no, okay. So he's like,
What did that have to do with the case?
like, okay, I don't even think I understood the case.
No.
So apparently the killer would bring back and murder the people in his home and then just keep the bodies there. Is that what it is?
I don't
because he
know.
wanted to live with them because of penis envy.
And something about Greenpeace, like,
I don't even know.
yeah, I don't either. It was very strange.
Yeah. I wish they talked more about the case.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. But it wasn't about the case. It was about the jury.
Yes. So they finally decide to take a vote.
Surprise, surprise.
And it's 11-1 every time. And they're getting more and more angry because they know it's Tommy. And he keeps figuring out different ways to postpone.
Yep.
And
But the thing is like when they actually try to talk about the case, he never says anything of substance at all.
no,
What
he
I
doesn't.
found interesting is there was a point where he's like, listen, if I can't convince any of you guys, then tomorrow I'm going to change my vote.
Yeah.
And so then he decides to sneak out and and go to the accused in jail and visits him. And the guards are like cool with it.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, okay, 5 minutes. I thought that was so funny.
And he was dressed like a lady.
Oh my God. It makes you wonder, like, like, here's the thing. Even if, like, that happened, right? There's no way in hell they would let him take in his purse.
No.
Like, they would have to, like, you know, like, feel him up.
Yeah,
make
search
sure
him.
he's not packing anything. But, like, I just,
Oh, he's packing something.
well, you know, to each their own.
I don't know what kind of penis envy the other guy had, but he was packing at least something.
I just want to say that those cops were cool.
Yeah, they were cool. They were like, oh, let's give him a few more minutes.
Yeah, oh, they're wild. I remember when I was young.
Well, and you want to know what's weird is that when we were watching it, I saw the mark on his neck and I was like, I feel like that has something to do with the case. I was like, that seems a weird thing to have and they not clean it up with makeup. So I was like, I think that's part of the case.
All I kept thinking about was a vampire bite.
Well, there's that. But it turns out it was actually the marks from a shock.
The taser. Yeah. Because he
And-
was set up.
Yes. And they figure out that he was set up and Pauly Shore figures all of this out and helps get the guy off.
Yeah.
And then they have like a celebration for him and he gets a check for $5. And it's a giant check. And
I
you know
mean-
that costs more than what the $5 is worth.
I thought he was going to get $5 a day.
Yeah, no.
Seriously?
They are supposed to get $5
Oh,
a
okay,
day.
but it's just a movie.
It said for one additional day. So he got the $5 for that one extra day.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why, but that's what he got.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. Let's see here.
What I find funny is like the closing scene where he's back to being a stripper, but this time he's a judge.
Yeah.
And then you're reading the words at the bottom and it says he paid his way through law school and now he's an attorney.
Yeah.
I mean, all I kept thinking was, what is it? The Good Wife or whatever, where, cause I didn't watch the show, but my roommate did. Right. And so, I would watch episodes here and there, but they had somebody on their team that was like an investigator. And I was like, that would be more his role, like the investigator. Like he would go undercover and like find out the tea.
That would make more sense
than an actual attorney.
One part of all of this nonsense that didn't make
just
sense.
One part?
This one part stuck out to me and I wrote it down. So they figure out that it's actually Stanley Tucci's character who is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he convinced the other guy to let him on the jury so he could convict this other guy who he set up for this crime. And so he ties them up. I'm sorry. Before that happened, Peanut escapes and the girl finds it. Tia, whatever her name is. She finds it and she follows the dog and the dog takes her to the penthouse suite. And that's where Pauly's been staying or Tommy's been staying. And she makes the leap very quickly. It wasn't like, oh, hey, we've been in this hotel for a really long time. Maybe he just found this room. She was just like, how could you do that? How could you be so selfish and all this stuff? And I was like, you made that leap really quickly.
I would have been like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
How did you get in here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to leave your room, Second, I would not have chased that dog down because I'm not supposed to leave my area.
Right? And someone who follows the rules like she wouldn't have done that.
And what the hell was with that nightgown she was wearing?
Yeah, that was weird. But she like made that leap really, really quickly.
She did.
I'd be like, okay, this kid, he's weird.
Yeah.
He clearly he brought a dog. So he, must have I'd be like, did you just like sneak in here?
And do their rooms not get clean with like the maid people not seeing the dog? Or is it cool? Or maybe because they are a jury, they're, like, if I was the cleaning staff, I'd be like, oh, there's a dog in here. Well, okay, maybe they're okay with it. I don't know.
Yeah, they're letting him because he brought business.
But that was after the fact. That took at least a week.
Yeah.
Or at least 2 to 3 days.
I think he took it to court with him all the time in his little backpack.
Oh.
He told him to breathe. Take a big breath.
That was such a good dog too, as an actor.
It was a good dog. And then Stanley, Tommy tries to like get him, and then he does this like little pinky jab in the throat, and you laughed so hard.
I loved him. I was just thinking like, oh my gosh. It reminded me of like Indiana Jones, where that dude is doing all that fancy whip stuff. Yeah. And then he just like whips out his gun and shoots him.
Yeah, you were laughing so hard. I don't think you laughed at all any other time, but that tickled your funny bone.
It was so unexpected. It was like fatality.
It was pretty funny. And then the best part though is right after that, he tries to get the girl and kill her with the knife, and he reaches up and he punches through the wall, and she goes, asbestos, and he's like, ah! It just like screams.
Yeah, because he's like one of those environmental people.
And then that's able to get Tommy to hit him with a big giant book.
That's what these things are for.
I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, and Peanut was on Jeopardy and won.
Oh yeah, at the end when they're all talking about what they did afterwards.
So.
And he won.
Yeah, I did. He's the smartest dog alive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the tidbits I have.
Mm-hmm.
So, April, what would you rate this movie?
For what it is, okay, I would rate it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I knew what I was getting into, and it fulfilled the expectations I set for it.
I would rate it a 6 out of 10 asbestos screams.
It was too unbelievable.
It's not my favorite Pauly Shore movie. That would be either like Biodome or I just forgot the name of the movie. Encino Man.
Oh, Encino Man.
When he goes home with that girl from school. I don't remember. A son-in-law.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, really? Yeah, he meets this girl in college and goes home with her, and he's going to be the son-in-law, and he's like riding a tractor and doing all sorts of farm life stuff.
No, that does not sound familiar at all.
Yeah. It's not my favorite Pauly Shore movie, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen, I think I've seen this movie one time. If it'd been on TV, I might have caught it here and there in the last 30 plus years.
I was going to say it's more than 20.
Yeah. But yeah, I know I've seen it one time at least.
Well, I've seen it this one time.
Oh, really? You've never seen it before? Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think this prepared me for my jury duty.
I don't think it did at all.
I'm mentally prepared. Hopefully, I'm not there forever. And if I am, I don't have to be sequestered. Because that would suck.
Yeah, it would.
I might get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah?
Who knows? I don't know.
Like, if you're going to get sequestered, do they give you time to go home and pack?
Right? I was wondering the same thing because these people didn't. They just went straight there. Because I
Did
was
they send you a care pack? Like, could we pack up your stuff?
I don't.
Like, because you have to have clothes.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Like, I can definitely see bigger trials where an officer will accompany you home just to make sure no one's talking to you or telling you anything.
Yeah.
I could see that.
You'd be like, okay, you got 30 minutes. Go pack your shit. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine.
What if all your clothes is dirty? Like they caught you the day before laundry.
But God damn it. I guess I'll take my dirty clothes and see if they can wash them. Who knows? But all right. Well, if I'm back from jury duty, we'll do this again. If not, there'll be nothing after this episode.
We'll figure it out.
I'm sure it'll be fine. But all right, guys. So April, where can they find us?
Two Chicks Talking Flicks over on Instagram.
Two Chicks Talking Flicks at gmail.com.
Two Chicks Talking Flicks over on Facebook.
And we have a TikTok, Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
Yay.
So you can find us at all those places. And
at the email.
And yes, the email, the very important email. But all right, guys, until next time.
Toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.